What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bridging the Geekdoms. This is kind of a different type of show. Normally, I don't go this late, so it's kind of cool that we're going a bit later today. And some big news dropped today, and it's been a long time coming. I know fans around the world are ecstatic about it, and yeah, I gotta say, like, I mean, when I sit here and think about everything, how the fans have supported Henry Cavill since 2016, and even before then, when you sit there and think about it, and that it has taken 6 years, 6 years for any kind of official word to come back that or come out that he is back as Superman. It is absolutely mind-boggling that they've waited this long to reveal this, to say anything. Warner Brothers, and more specifically the old regime of Warner Brothers, it was atrocious. The way that they handled everything was absolutely atrocious. So let's take a look here with the big news, because let me tell you, I was excited. I don't know if you were, but I definitely was.
Hey everyone, I wanted to wait until the weekend was over before posting this because I wanted to give you all a chance to watch Black Adam. But now that plenty of you have, I wanted to make it official that I am back as Superman. And the image you see on this post and what you saw in Black Adam are just a very small taste of things to come. So there's a lot to be thankful for, and I'll get to that in time, but I want to thank you guys most of all. Thank you for your support, and thank you for your patience. I promise it will be rewarded.
Just absolutely phenomenal. And I love how Cavill is the one to do this. Now, people are going to be out there. There's some grifters out there. I'm not going to kind of talk about them too much here, but there are some grifters out there who are trying to put a spin on this, that this isn't what it all seems, that Cavill is using and taking this opportunity to specifically to actually want to do this to show the want that is out there for him to come back. It's a negotiating tactic that he's using. Regardless, even if that is the case, he is back. He is back. He's at this point, if there is no contract, if there is no deal, Warner Brothers would be absolutely foolish to not sign him to a deal. Let's take a look at Black Adam. Prior to Black Adam coming out this past week, the buzz around that movie was, it was all right. It wasn't anything overly spectacular. People weren't clamoring at the bit to see this movie. But when word got out that Henry Cavill had just a five-second cameo in a mid-credit scene, 5-second cameo, that movie has become Dwayne Johnson's highest grossing film or opening weekend film. And would make, I think, between $65 million and $70 million domestically. That's domestically opening weekend. That is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And that happened because of this man here. You're going to have people out there who say, no, Robert, you're wrong. That's not what happened. That is not the case. It wasn't all because of Henry Cavill, but I hate to tell you this, it was. Henry Cavill is what shot Black Adam to have an opening weekend like it had. Plain and simple. We fans of Cavill and his Superman have been saying for a number of years that they need to utilize him. They need to work out a deal. They need to bring him back. I know that this is tough for a lot of people to stomach, and I could get some backlash for this. But those who know me know I am a diehard Snyder fan and what he created with the DC universe. I adore what he created. But let's face it. Let's face it. If we were to get anything back out of what Snyder has created or had created, Henry Cavill is atop of that list. Bringing him back as Superman is atop of that list. Even those who dislike the Snyderverse liked Cavill as Superman. And if they didn't exactly like Cavill as Superman, they see the potential on what Cavill can bring to the role. And they want to see that blossom. They want to see what he can do. To think that the old regime just straight up refused and tried to write him off. Is maddening. Facebook user, glad Cavill's back. He was a good Supes with bad direction. Hope he gets another bite at the apple. And that's what I'm saying right there. Glad Cavill is back. He was a good Supes with a bad direction or with bad direction. That's the consensus is, if you're a Snyder fan, you loved his Superman. You loved what Cavill brought. If you're not a Snyder fan, you liked Cavill as Superman. You wanted to see him in a different iteration or a different direction. And now we're going to get that. We're going to get that is what just excites me the most. Cavill is back. Cavill's back. Look, he's back. Be damned what other people say at this point. I want to see another Superman movie. I've said this many, many times. I am a huge DC fan. My first love has always been Batman. But I will even admit that the Batman story, the Batman lore, Batman on film is kind of played out. I was not a fan of the Batman. But Superman, we've had a total of 4 good Superman films in the span of 40 years. Batman films, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7-ish, maybe we can say. But my point is this. It's not that we've just gotten 7 good Batman movies. It's that we've gotten 4, 7, 9, 10, 11 films with Batman in it. I want more Superman. And I want more of this guy as Superman. This one right here. That's who I want. I want him as Superman. Now, there's a question already posing around the internet. Who do you want to have direct Superman? And I posted a tweet today, and I posted this because this is a joyous day. This is a day that we should all be excited and happy that Cavill is back. So I posted this. He has returned. At this point, we should all rejoice in this. I trust Cavill will take Superman in the right direction, regardless of who the director is. Don't ruin this day by making it about something and someone else. That was kind of, and I'll admit it was kind of a sly attack on the movement that I've been a part of for a number of years now, the Snyderverse movement. Because the moment that this became official, tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet on Facebook, I was seeing it in DC groups that they need to bring Cavill back. Or not Cavill, they need to bring Snyder back. They need to bring Zack Snyder back. If Cavill's back, they need to bring Snyder back. No, leave it go. Don't do the hashtag bring back Zack Snyder. Don't do the hashtag restore the Snyderverse. This in itself, this right here, this in itself is all we need to do, all we need to worry about. We don't need to worry on what director is going to come back. We don't need to know any of that right now. This day is about Cavill being back. This day is about rejoicing and just being excited for that. I'm so sick and tired of all of the angst, the anger, the toxicity that comes around the Snyderverse movement. This past Friday, and I don't know how many of you out there knew this, or how many of you even partook in this little trending event that they did on social media, but they pushed a trending event, hashtag bring back Zack, or bring back Zack Snyder, something like that, on Friday, the day that Black Adam released, because they were trying to destroy, they were trying to push any good will or anything good about Black Adam to the side and saying, we don't want this, we only want Zack. I'm not going to sit here and say that Dwayne Johnson is going to bring Zack back, but he's a big reason why Cavill's back. I'm not even going to say he's the entire reason, but he is a big reason why Cavill is back. And to sit there and act like we can't watch Black Adam, or we shouldn't watch Black Adam, or we shouldn't enjoy Black Adam, or what have you, because you want Snyder back, I think that's ridiculous. We can have a great DC universe. Yes, the old regimes, the past two regimes, really flubbed that up for us. The different ways that they mishandled the characters, the contracts, the talent, the filmmakers, all of that. The way they mishandled and mismanaged all of that is atrocious, and it goes down in history as some of the worst studio meddling in history. But why are the fans now trying to meddle? We haven't even given Zaslav and this new regime a chance. And in all fairness, I will even go as far to say we didn't give the previous regime an opportunity to show what they can do. But we haven't given them an inch. This new regime, Black Adam, is from the old regime. Aquaman, old regime. The Flash, old regime. Blue Beetle, old regime. We haven't seen what this new crew coming in here is going to do. We haven't seen, or we have no idea who they're going to get to head up DC Studios. We don't know who this person's going to be. We don't know what this person is going to want to do. But here we sit, here we stand, bring back Zack Snyder. When that has no relevance. Nothing that happens to these movies right now has any relevance to whether Zack is brought back or not. Let me say that again. Nothing that happens with Black Adam, The Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman, whether they're $1 billion movies or $10 movies, nothing, none of that has any bearing on whether Zack Snyder is brought back. Let me reiterate that. If they fail, if they fail miserably, if these movies that are due to come out fail miserably, well, guess what they're going to do? They're not going to say, "Hey, Zack, come and fix this." No, that's not what they're going to do. You know what they're going to do? They're going to reboot and start all over. Plain and simple. It's not. It's using your brain, people. Use your brain. But this is just amazing. Cavill is back as Superman. I want to know who saw Black Adam. Leave a comment what you thought of Black Adam. If you did see it, if you didn't get a chance to see it, why? I want to know why you didn't see it. Let me know in the comments what's going on there. Because I have yet to get it. I have not been able to get out to see it. I wanted to go see it this weekend. Life, kids, it's too much going on. So I'm hoping in the next week or two I'll get a chance to go out there. Like I've been saying, it's not a movie that I've been highly anticipating, that I really wanted to see. I want to see it enough to go see it in theater. It wasn't like a opening weekend because I knew that there was nothing huge in that film, nothing setting up the future of the DCEU. I knew it was going to be a very secluded movie, expanding the universe slightly, but not necessarily hinting and getting people excited for what's to come. So that's why I wasn't overly excited about going to see it. I do want to see it though at some point here soon, hopefully. Hopefully I get to see it. But I want to know, what did you think? Did you see it? Did you check it out? Did you like it? I just, there's been so many mixed reviews about it. It's kind of shocking to me how many people out there are trying to bash this movie. And it's coming from both sides. And that's the crazy thing about it. Because you have DC fans who are trying to completely destroy Black Adam's financial success. And then you have people who are not DC fans trying to destroy its financial success. If I were the head of DC Studios, if I were in David Zaslav's position right now, you know what I would do? I would say, look, you guys want to do this? Screw it. Cancel it all. These movies come out, sure, but we're not planning anything. Nobody wants them. And that's the truth. Guys, Cavill's back, man. Cavill is back. I just don't know why more people aren't freaking out and excited about this. Yeah. Twitter, and I know there's people within this Restore the Snyderverse fandom who mean no harm, who want to honestly and truthfully see the Snyderverse come back and us get some amazing content. But you got to be careful because some of those people just are not worth even 1 minute of your time. Oh man, I don't know. I wish I could convey more my excitement about this. I did a video, and it's kind of funny. I did a video a number of months ago, or maybe even a year or two ago, about Henry Cavill and whether he's the quintessential Superman. Let me see if I can find it here. And it's kind of funny. So I tweeted this out right here. I tweeted this out. I made a new feature image just to kind of update it a little bit. And I tweeted it out only because I knew that Cavill was in Black Adam. I had no idea that he was going to announce that he was back. As you can see, it was 10 hours ago I tweeted that. And right here is whenever I tweeted this out and retweeted. So I had no idea that was happening. And it was perfect timing to kind of tweet that out, to kind of put that back out there, because it is such an important piece of pulp culture. This Superman, this iteration of Superman has been such a big part of the superhero genre right now. And whether people want to believe it or not, a lot of what Marvel was built off of is because of what they did with Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. So this Superman is perfection. To have him back is just so freaking exciting. I don't want to talk about anything else but this. I definitely want to stick to that. And the past few days, past couple weeks, past few weeks, it's been so much talk about Cavill coming back. So let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think, what your thoughts are on all of this. I am just so freaking excited. I gotta say, I knew something was coming. You had to feel it in the air. Then there was reports, what, Vanity Fair or Variety, one of the two, or Hollywood Report or something like that. Was posted. They posted and talked about a Superman project in the early stages of development, that they're still searching for writers and blah, 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 blah. You had to know something was coming. Again, let's say let's just give these grifters, these clowns, the benefit of the doubt here. And let's say there's still no contract. And this was just a negotiating tactic. Could you imagine if Warner Brothers and Cavill didn't work out a deal now? The DCEU would be dead. So it was a damn good marketing tactic or negotiating tactic, if that's what it was. But I don't believe that's what it is. I feel that a deal's done because even Danny Garcia, The Rock and Cavill's manager, and The Rock's ex-wife, and she's a producer on Black Adam, and she co-owns the XFL with him, and just she does a lot. But let's say she came out, like, I could see it being a negotiation tactic if it was just Cavill. But Danny Garcia even made a post on social media about it. There's something that, I want to know, though. All right, let's, we're talking about Cavill. We still don't have any confirmation. Everybody wants to sit there and say, oh, well, we got, Flash here still, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Aquaman, so on and so forth. We still have them, but what about Affleck? We know that he's in the Flash movie. We know he did some scenes for Aquaman, but is that it? Is he going to be doing more? And that's a question that I pose to all of you. I want to know what you think is going on with Ben Affleck, because yes, there's a lot of reporting or scooping or grifting out there that people are trying to say that Affleck is back, that he is back for the long haul. I think I heard somebody say, oh, he's got a trilogy of movies. He signed on for a trilogy of movies. There's no official report. There's no official word from Affleck, from Warner Brothers, from anyone that says that he is back for the long haul. I think it would be great if he was, but let's just say Cavill coming back was a move in that direction towards Ben Affleck staying on as Batman. And then we also now have this Ray Fisher thing. And regardless of how you feel about all of that, everything that happened with Ray Fisher, you have to start questioning, are they going to bring him back? Should they bring him back? Because that's a question, that is a good question at this point. I'm not saying he ruined his career. I'm not saying he shouldn't have done what he did. But he left a pretty damning mark on Warner Brothers with what he did. And there's a good chance that people aren't going to trust him because they may feel like any little disagreement they have, and I'm not saying that's what happened, but they could be thinking any little disagreement they have, he could turn it around and make a big deal out of it. Again, I believe what Ray Fisher said, so I'm not going to sit there and say this way, but you have to take a look at the bigger picture of everything. And that's one thing I don't think a lot of people do. You got to take a look at the bigger picture, because that is what you're going to start to see where this DC universe is going. And I want to know, is Affleck back for the long term? If he isn't, then staying as they are as a status quo is fine. There's no reason to, when you're talking about the DC universe right now and David Zaslav, again, this is thinking logically. All right. So you have the grifters out there who are, Affleck signed a contract, 3 movies, 15 cameos, 742 minutes of voice work. I don't know. I'm just making shit up at this point. But let's say that is the case. Why? Why would Zaslav, why would Warner Brothers, why would DC not announce this? Think logically. Why would Affleck not announce this? Why would they keep it secret? When you have a property, when you have a franchise that is struggling like DC is right now, that the hype around it is at an all-time low, speaking before Black Adam, at an all-time low, coming out and announcing this person's back, we're doing another movie with this person, or here's the cast of the upcoming this movie, to get people excited. That's what Marvel has done for so long. And Zaslav wants to follow a similar trajectory that Marvel took. So you take a look. Marvel, they set out a plan. They give you 10 movies, 15 movies, and TV shows to get excited about. But not only that, but as soon as they can, they will announce Harrison Ford is in the MCU now. Bill Murray is in the MCU now. This person's in the MCU. This person's playing this person. Brie Larson is Captain Marvel. They are quick to say these people are in these movies. Even if they don't have a movie, this person is this character. Yeah, there are times when it needs to be a surprise. But that works because it gets people excited for the future. And that's what you need to do. You can't solely rely on the excitement for the next thing. You have to be proactive and making sure that everybody's excited for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and so on and so forth. That's what you have to do. So if if Affleck truly signed a deal for 3 Batman movies, if he truly did, why is there no announcement? Oh, they don't want to step on the toes of the Batman? Well, so you're saying that the Batman's getting a sequel. That's probably not coming out until 2024, 2025, most likely 2025. So let's say the end of 2024. Let's say November 2024 is when the sequel to The Batman comes out. Well, we know that they're doing a trilogy there. They're not going to want to have a separate Batman trilogy going on alongside that Batman trilogy. Again, it's logical thinking. I want Affleck back as much as anybody else does as Batman. I want to see him continue. But there's no official word. I think Cavill being back, I think is a huge step in the right direction. And I think if Cavill picked up the phone and was like, "Hey, buddy, come on, let's do 2 more Justice League movies together," I could see Affleck saying, "All right, bud, yeah, let's do it. Let's get it done." But a trilogy, guys, come on, that would be huge news. That would get everyone excited who's a DC fan. Because much like Cavill, how the haters of Snyder and the fans of Snyder love Cavill, while the haters of Snyder, they're not as excited about Affleck as they are Cavill. But a large percentage of them really liked what Affleck brought. And then the Snyder fans too. It would just be a win-win-win situation for them all. The Ezra Miller stuff. I was having a talk with John Horsley of Spoiler Country. The past couple days, we've been kind of discussing DC, with everything going on, all the news dropping, and he asked, he's like, "Is the Flash movie still coming out?" Yeah, yeah, still coming out. Planned to come out in June. Oh, I hope they shit can that. That's what he said. He wants him to just cancel it. Why? Because he doesn't think Ezra Miller deserves to have a movie. And if they can find a way to replace him in the film, they should do that, and then they can release it. And I sit here and I'm one of the ones that for a number of months have been like, look, there's a problem with him. Ezra Miller, he has an issue. He needs to get it taken care of. But I also believe in second chances and in having a redemption arc. And it sounds like Miller is getting the help he needs. At least from reports, it seems like he's been getting the help that he needs. And if that's the case, if he is truly getting the help he needs, I'm fine with him still being in the Flash and getting released. I know there's a lot of reports out there that they've already got a short list of actors to replace Ezra Miller, that Ezra Miller's out after the Flash comes out. I don't think that's completely accurate. I think it's going to be more along the lines of, how does the Flash movie do? How do people react and take Ezra Miller as the Flash at this point? And if the reception is warm, if it's good, if people enjoy it, and Ezra has kept his nose clean and he's gotten the help that he needs, he's going to continue as the Flash. And that's kind of what I was trying to explain to John. Like, look, I get it. I understand what you're saying. It's just, there's got to be, you have to sit back and say, okay, look, he's the star of a huge tentpole film, and to have him in one movie and then to change him or write him off or what have you, there could be some ramifications, and not to mention what's his contract. And I guess I'm sure there's some clauses in there that could get them out of paying him money for any shenanigans that he ensues or that ensue. But I think that the safer bet is to not make any movements now, to just let's see how it plays out. We got 6, 7, 8 months. I still believe that there is a chance that this movie could come out earlier. I'm not stuck on that February date anymore like I was a couple months ago, but I think there is a chance that they could move this movie back to, say, March or April or even May. I don't know what the outlook for 2023 is right now. There's been a lot of shifting going on with delays and such, but I could still see that happening only because I think Warner Brothers wants to get moving with this universe. And that film right there is a big part of where this universe goes. So I truly think that that's kind of the next step when it comes to the grander DCEU. And then we get back to Ray Fisher, what happens there. And as much as I like Ray Fisher as an actor, as much as I really loved his performance in the Snyder Cut, Cyborg is not necessarily a character that is needed for the long haul, long term of Justice League characters. I'd like to see him back, but I can understand and see them writing him off. I could. And then you're going to sit there, and I know that there's going to be an outcry of people sitting there saying, well, they're writing off a black character, and how dare they, and yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. And there's a plethora of black characters within the DC universe that they can bring in and utilize and create a great story with. So that part, personally, I'm not worried about. They have to do what's best for the brand as well as the movies. That's the juggling act of running a studio. I also, from what I understand, Wonder Woman 3 the script is written. Where's that headed? Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns penned this damn movie, and God help us, after Wonder Woman 84, and she didn't throw a punch in that movie. Is that right? Like, a warrior doesn't fight in a movie. A movie about a warrior, the warrior does not fight, because that makes complete and total sense. Yes, Jeff Johns totally understands DC Comics. He's made some good comic books. He has. I digress. But when it comes to movies, it's a complete shit show with Jeff Johns. They need to boot him out the door. His time at DC, I think, is come and gone. I think you need to move on from him. But what does that say about Patty Jenkins, that she was so willing to just, yeah, let's do it that way? So what does that mean for Wonder Woman 3? Does Gal Gadot even want to stick around? I'm sure she does. But if I'm not mistaken, her contract is just about up, if not after Wonder Woman 3. So then it's kind of like, okay, now they have to re-up Gal Gadot. It's a juggling act. It's interesting. I'm so curious to see what happens with DC. And I think I'm more curious about how they handle what characters and actors are going to be in it moving forward. I think that's what I'm most interested about. You know, I've heard some pretty interesting things over the last few days, and one thing I kind of want to highlight here as I'm starting to kind of wind down, you know, my excitement um, for Cavill being back is amazing, and you know, it's kind of like, what are they doing with the DCEU? You know, are they going to utilize these characters that have been around? Or are they going to add new characters? Green Lantern's coming. We're going to get a Green Lantern, if not two. Hal Jordan, John Stewart. Kind of a buddy cop type of thing. Maybe not a buddy cop. I talked to somebody who was like, oh yeah, it looks like they want to do something that's like similar to Tony and Rhodey in Marvel, which I think is kind of cool. I mean, if that pans out, great. You know, I mean, it's all talk right now. It's nothing official. There's no word that they're definitely doing that, but I think that's a cool dynamic, and I think I would be okay with that. Totally be okay with that. But you have the Justice League. Now we have the Justice Society of America. We have what James Gunn is doing with the Suicide Squad and the villains. And make no mistake, Gunn is going to be sticking around DC for a little while. I know a lot of people sit there and say his Suicide Squad was trash. It failed miserably, blah, blah, blah. It didn't. That, you know, we were still right at the end of the pandemic. And not only that, the stupid ass decision to release day and date on HBO Max and theaters. That was just a stupid ass decision. The movie wasn't bad. I enjoyed the movie enough. It's not my favorite DC film, but I enjoyed it. Peacemaker, that show was just a good time. It was fun. It was funny. There's some things that I didn't like about it, such as the shadowy Superman, but we now know that is no longer going to happen, which excites me. So we got James Gunn doing this thing. You know, there's rumor that he's doing a Deathstroke film or adding Deathstroke to another movie or something. He's got a couple things lined up. Peacemaker season 2, a Deathstroke thing, and quite possibly another Suicide Squad movie. He's got things lined up. He's going to be playing with these villains, which I'm okay with. Because not every single thing in the DCEU has to be serious. And it doesn't have to be like Marvel. It can be its own thing. And that's kind of what it seemed like Gunn did with Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. It was his own thing. It wasn't the campiness and goofiness of Marvel, but it also wasn't the dark and gritty that we've had from the DCEU. It was his own thing, which I'm happy with. And then there's the rumored Justice League Dark stuff. And I gotta say, if you take Justice League, Justice Society, Justice League Dark, and the Suicide Squad stuff, that's 4 sections of the DC universe that can be built at the same time, simultaneously be built, but also connected. Just think of a Madame Xanadu, Zatanna. I know that that's been put on hold or on the back burner, but that would be amazing. We now know that Keanu Reeves' Constantine is probably going to be coming back. Is he going to fit into this iteration of the DCEU, or are they going to make it in Elseworlds like the Batman and Joker? I wouldn't mind him fitting into this DCU. Green Lantern, Superman, Batman, Aquaman, Hawkman, Supergirl, Flash, Wonder Woman, and, Black Adam, Blue Beetle, Atom Smasher, Cyclone. And the possibilities are endless. I'm loving it. Those 4 sections just could build this DC universe big time. But here's the thing. We have to accept that we're getting these characters. The continuation of the Snyderverse is happening in a way through these characters. If Zack gets to come back and do his Justice League arc, great. I'm all for it. Let's go. But if he doesn't, I'm all for this. Completely for it. Not just Marvel, but also Star Wars should do is kind of section off. I think Marvel's starting to do it a little bit, but section off your universe and allow them to expand in separate directions, in different directions, but all moving forward. Yeah, I guess you can go back in some regards, but let it all build out and build the universe instead of sticking to one timeline and sticking to just Justice League members or just the Avengers. Make that net, make that highway bigger. And let some of these people go off on their own and do some things and bring it back at some point. That's what they need to do. And I think Warner Brothers plans on doing that with DC. I'm pretty excited about it. I do hope it happens because I think some great things are going to come. And Cavill's back. Cavill is back. I still can't believe it. Even though I knew that it was going to happen, even though I had a great feeling that it was going to happen, to sit here and think and see and hear from the words of Cavill himself. Let's go.
Hey everyone, I wanted to wait until the weekend was over before posting this because I wanted to give you all a chance to watch Black Adam. But now that plenty of you have, I wanted to make it official that I am back as Superman. And the image you see on this post and what you saw in Black Adam are just a very small taste of things to come. So there's a lot to be thankful for, and I'll get to that in time, but I want to thank you guys most of all. Thank you for your support and thank you for your patience. I promise it will be rewarded.
Fantastic. Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know everything you think about Cavill being back. Where do you think the Justice League is going to go? How do you think they're going to handle moving forward? Now that we know Cavill is back, how is this all going to go in your eyes? How is this all going to go? Let us know in the comments. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you hear every time I post a new video. With all that said, everyone, maybe. Let's see. With all that said, everyone, I'll talk to all of you later.